It's more sports.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome into More Sports, our high school football recap. We got a lot of games that are finishing up right now and a couple that are still going, some really good games that we'll be checking in throughout the show. And we got coaches ready to join us and talk a little football with us. In fact, let's go ahead and get it started. See Tyler Updegrove in the green room. We'll bring him in. Coach, welcome in. How are you doing?
Oh, thanks, Wes. I'm good. I'm good.
Got to be happy with the defense tonight. 35-0 is what I have. Final score, a nice little shutout.
Yeah, I thought defensively played extremely well, very physical, flew around. We had some guys banged up who we didn't really play. So we had some guys step up who don't play a lot, and I thought they played really well.
35 points too offensively. Y'all put some points on the and this Pine Bluff team. Everyone that plays them says they have a good defense, a tough defense. You got to be happy with the offense too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we got our 35 and we were able to let the clock run a little bit. It wasn't just a work of art offensively tonight. Just couldn't really get going. But I was really proud of our guys for just staying in the fight and executing and getting some points on the board.
Who were some of the stars for you tonight? Who played well?
Well, Deuce played pretty well again. I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns. Trey Petty caught a couple touchdown passes. I was really proud of him. He made, caught a little hitch route and took it to the house on one and caught a pretty good ball on a slant. So really proud of him. I thought our O-line really well in pass blocking at least. And then defensively, Lennox Campos, I don't know how many sacks he's going to end up with. It's probably going to be 4 or 5. But I thought he played extremely well at defensive end. And then Jake Witten is a guy who doesn't play a ton for us. And I thought he played extremely well at safety. So I was really proud of him. But just overall, a good team win. We had a little extracurricular stuff there at the end. And I told the guys I was more proud of the way they reacted with that because they didn't, feed into it. We've obviously got a pretty big football game coming this next Friday. So we can't afford anybody to, do something dumb and not have them next week.
How was it this week, in preparation because of what you have next week?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our kids did a pretty good job. I had a newspaper reporter asked me after the game because he thought we were a little lethargic. I didn't necessarily think we were lethargic. It was weird. Our crowd was fine. It wasn't huge, which I kind of expected with Halloween and all that kind of stuff. So it just was a weird environment to start, not really rowdy or anything like that. So I was really proud of our defense because I thought they brought the intensity. But I don't really feel like we looked ahead. We knew that it didn't really matter because we still need to win next week. I don't even know the score to the other game right now. So I know there's some ways where it could go where it wouldn't matter for us if we lose, but we don't want to lose a football game, especially late in the year. We want to keep it going. As far as I know, we haven't had a team go undefeated. So that's kind of, another goal for us. And we want to keep, pushing towards that.
Is that something that y'all talk about, being undefeated?
We don't put like a huge emphasis on it. It's just, at the beginning of the season, it was beat PA. That's kind of been the one that's, like in 2021 when we, went 14-1. That was the one game we lost. And so I just kind of told the kids, you hit that milestone. So now we've got other things to look forward to, but not necessarily a major emphasis. But I think this group does pride itself. I think that's a lot of what drove them last week in that comeback with Cersei. And, it's just something that we can talk about and kind of push, for perfection because we all want perfection. So.
Coach, I pulled up the live stream while you were talking, and Cersei leads Maumelle 47-40 with a minute 43 to go in the game. And looks like Cersei has the ball at their own 10-yard line, 1st and 10. So still a little bit to be played in this game, but Cersei is up 47-40.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. We knew it was going to be a competitive game. I talked to both coaches. They were expecting a dogfight. They played and won last year. So both obviously really good football teams. We know Cersei firsthand, and Mop's always going to have a defense that flies around, and they're putting up points. So we know we've got our work cut out for us next week. So just got to keep working and go from there.
You want to go watch that game?
Oh, yeah. you know what? After tonight, we'll let the chips fall where they may, and I'm sure I'll pull up the live stream at some point. I know my coaching staff's in there watching it right now. I was getting my wife and our grandson in the car, so bigger things to worry about there.
No, priorities are first, right? Yeah,
Yep.
You got your priorities down straight. Cersei ran the ball on first down, no yards. Maumelle called a timeout. So got a break in the action. I'll let you run. Congratulations on the victory tonight and big game Thursday night. Try to finish off the season 10-0 and maybe have to play for conference champs, or you may already have it. But good luck next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Updegrove, joining us on More Sports to get us started tonight. Let's go back into the green room and bring in our next head coach. We've got Reggie Swinton joining us at Jacksonville. And you know what, Coach? You got that first conference victory tonight. Congratulations. How'd that feel?
Oh, it feels sweet, man. After a lot of hurtful, Friday nights, and it feels good to finally get that monkey off our back.
Tell you what, we'll get to this week's game here in just a second, but I watched the end of the BB game, and that's a tough one, to score in overtime, go for two in the victory, and to have the fumble like that had to be a tough one to overcome this week for your guys.
Yeah, it was, because that one put us out the playoff hopes, and so we wanted that game so bad. Our kids played hard that night, and we had the perfect play call at the end of the game. It was going to be a toss sweep pass, received from the back of the end zone all by itself, and the quarterback fumbled the ball, and that was a heartbreaker. But I like the way our kids battle back, even though right now we're just playing for pride and trying to play for the best record as a Titan, because the Titans never won more than 2 games in the season. So right now we're playing for pride and, trying to send our seniors out on the right way.
49-8 this week. So was that the message this week, to get them going and finish the season strong?
Yeah, football is a game of emotions. And so, we all know how it works when you're playing a game to be playing for nothing. And so a lot of folks at this point in time would have shut it down. But, we kept our kids motivated and just trying to get those kids to play with their hearts and just go out there and have fun. Like I told the guys on Monday, if nothing else, have fun. And all the underclassmen, I was, hey, man, your job is to send your seniors out the right way. And let's start, and that's end the season, on a winning note so we can carry this over in the offseason.
Who are some of your offensive stars tonight? 49 points, pretty good.
Yeah, so I don't know how many carries he had, but Mason Ball, he had 201 yards rushing. I think 3 touchdowns. Both of my quarterbacks threw for a touchdown. The offensive line did a great job, tonight of blocking. And we were trying to get Mason Ball 250 tonight. But I got a little pass happy at one point in time and took some carries from him. So he may blame me for that one. But, we just, Mason Ball's a different type of player.
What's the go for him next week then?
We got Washington Chapel. We don't want to take anyone lightly, but, we're trying to get, Mason the rushing record for our conference. And so he's battling it out right now with Deuce Williams over there, Joe T. Robinson, and I believe the kid named Bibius Curtis. So they're 1, 2, and 3, and they changes every week. So we're trying to get Mason that record.
How about the defense? Did pretty good holding Whitehall. They scored, I guess, late in this game.
Yeah, Whitehall put the backups in with like the last 7 minutes. It was a mercy rule, so we put in a lot of guys who never played. And that gave up a touchdown on 4th and goal from the 15-yard line. Whitehall got, bagged up by a penalty. And so, but the first defense played lights out. We had a safety tonight. We had several sacks, a lot of TFLs. We had a pick. And so our defense came to play tonight.
All right, what's the message next week going into the final game of the year for you guys?
Send your seniors out strong. Let's finish up with a home win. Protect your house. Let's go into the off season on a positive note, and just come back in January and get ready for our 26th season. And one thing I can promise you, Wes, we will be different in 26. I've only been there 5 months and 2 weeks, so I didn't have much time to put in any kind of technique. Teach them how to run routes, teach them the proper steps for the running backs. So we came in just putting in plays, and so once they learn what I really want, we're gonna be dangerous.
Coach, congrats on the first conference victory tonight, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Wes.
Reggie
All right.
Smith joining us on More Sports. Let's check in the green room, and we got Quad Sanders, head coach of the Bryant Hornets. They get the victory tonight, 38-7 over an improved North Little Rock team. I've watched them play a couple of times this season. Let me start there, Coach. What do you think of North Little Rock?
Man, much improved. Like you said, I thought that going into the game that they're a different team than they were in week one. Obviously, not where he wants them to be, and you can't expect that anyway. It takes time, especially in 7A, to get where you want to be. And he'll get them there, but you can definitely see the improvement on film.
All right. What about you guys? How'd you play tonight?
I mean, we executed at times. At times we did not execute it. We kind of took a step back, which is, not motivating really with the penalties. Just dead ball penalties, false starts, and we had one stupid penalty, a 15-yarder. We just a guy made a good play and celebrated over excessively.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in the game, at this point in the season, you got to be used to making plays, and you got to be. The dead ball penalties have got to stop because it's just going to cost us. It's going to cost us in the long run, and I got to find a way to. I got to find the answer to it.
You feel like with the big game next week with Conway, what's surrounding this game. Did you have a fear of the guys looking ahead to that game?
Man, I would hope they wouldn't be looking ahead, because I don't even mention the next week opponent, no matter who it is. Obviously, I know they know who we're playing, and they're probably looking forward to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to look at it as just another game, for reasons like you said. You start overlooking people, and I mean that's when you make slip up. So you're not playing your best. Not to say we played bad at all, because like I said, they're a much improved team with a lot of athleticism. I would just like to see some stuff cleaned up.
Who played well for you offensively?
I mean, the receivers really did well. I'll say that. We had the ball in good field position a lot of times, but putting together drives, the receivers caught it well, and the running backs ran it well. So really, they played good as a unit. Quarterbacks were a little slow starting out though. Just missed some things early that there were layups. We just got to make those layups if we're gonna beat the good teams.
You still balancing your quarterbacks, playing them both?
Yeah, I mean, we're just really going with whoever's the hot hand, Sometimes it takes a while to find. But they both get it going at the same time. So, we end up all right. And it is what it is. It might just be that,
Defense, you held North Little Rock to 7. You good with the defense?
Yeah. I mean, we still made some bonehead mistakes, which I don't understand. We just got to understand the game. We flew around. I can't say enough about how fast they play. The thing is, sometimes when you're playing fast in the wrong direction, it's gonna haunt you. And I always worry about what can haunt us, as opposed to what I'm seeing, right in front of me. They play super hard. They made plays. We scored again on defense. So there's nothing much really you can say. But you got teams that are just as good as you that can capitalize on every mistake. And so that just scares me a little bit.
I'm curious, tonight's win guarantees you a first bye and a home playoff game. Does that mean anything at Bryant, or it's more of the bigger picture?
Well, I think it's got to be the bigger picture. I mean, and I think it's got to be the bigger picture for everybody, because the teams that are good enough to beat you, they'll be good enough to beat you whether it's on the road or at home. It don't matter, and I think that's the thing. I think it's good to not travel because it's less money. If you're talking about the budget. I think that's more so for a budget in 7A than it is for who can win on the road and good. You don't think Benville and Rogers can travel well? Rogers probably got the fastest quarterback in 7A. You don't want to play them. It don't matter if it's at home or on the road, And then you talk about Ben, they've got speed all over the field, and it's the same for us. If we had to travel, we got running back galore and receivers everywhere, and same with Conway. They can run the ball, one of the best offensive lines, And so, it's all the same. When you talk about the top, what people would consider the top 4. I think those are the hottest 4 teams in 7A right now. Not to take away from Benville West, who can travel well. Fayetteville, who's got a quarterback that you overlook and shoot, they'll put up 60 on you because they can throw it over the top. So I think everybody's going to travel well. However, home field advantage is good because you get to stay at home. So that's routine.
Dang, Coach, you got me ready for the playoffs. The 7A is going to be fun. You just gave me a scouting report, and we got some good games coming, man. All right, what's this week going to be like with you, knowing what's on the line?
Oh, it is. This is all the same, man. Like, we already got home field advantage. It don't mean, when you get down to the Final Four, it ain't going to matter. So by the time we get to who's got one, let's just say all the top teams make it. 1 versus 2, 2 versus 1. Who cares? Who cares where it's at? It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. So the hard part's already done, getting the home field advantage. Now it's about staying healthy and executing and not making it bigger than what it is, and seeing if you can just keep momentum. It's more so about momentum.
Coach, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on. That was fun. 38-7. Bryant gets it done. Good luck next week and the rest of the way in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you soon. Quad Sanders joining us on More Sports. Looks like the green room is empty for now. I'll text some more of the coaches, see if we can't get some more on. Some late games. Let's take a look at the Hooten scoreboard real quick and get you filled in. Of course, we got the Corky's Ribs and Barbecue ticker going across the bottom of the screen. Big thanks to Corky's for being a part of the show. And you can check out some of those scores as we go. Let's go to the Hootens.com. I'll share that with you. And we'll take a look at some of the finals because and let me make that screen bigger for you so we can all look, and there we go. We'll refresh it so we get the up-to-date scores on the First Security scoreboard, and we'll start at the top. And last night you did have a game, Hampton beating Hazen 44-16. Now, these are tonight's games starting in the 7A Central. Cabot goes to Little Rock Central, doubles them up, 42-21. Conway over Little Rock Christian on the road. Conway wins it 55-17, so that sets up the big Benton or the Bryant-Conway game next week. Pulaski Academy knocks off Southwest 49-22. Bryant, there you go. There's the score with Coach Sanders. In the West, everything went as scheduled, a bunch of blowouts. These games were really some of the first finals we had all night. Bentonville West all over Northside. See Fayetteville 51-7 over Heritage. Rogers rolls again 42-19 over Harbor. And Bentonville, no problem, 63-7 over Springdale. Benton made the trip to West Memphis. They win 49-19. El Dorado knocks off Jonesboro. Jonesboro was in a fight there in the 6A East, and they had to make the long drive. You talk about drive. Jonesboro to El Dorado. 44-21, El Dorado wins. Marion knocks off Catholic 48-10. And Sylvan Hills, goodness, they are still playing. Let me see if I get a score on that real quick. We could switch over and look at this game thanks to our friends at the Natural State Sports Network, 84-18. And Sheridan has the ball right now. Sheridan actually got it to a one-possession game at one point. And it looks like, I think it was 56-48. So it looks like Sylvan Hills has rattled off 28 straight points. And they're going to get the victory. Their last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, 84-48. Goodness. I said today on the Buzz, guarantee, I promise you, there will be 100 points scored in this game. That was underestimated. You got 132 total points in this game, and Sheridan about midfield trying to score. Greenwood knocks off Southside 56-21. Mountain Home goes to Van Buren, hands Van Buren their second straight loss 44-20. Siloam Springs 21-6 over Russellville, and Shiloh goes to Lake Hamilton. They win 63-12. Now to 5A, there's that Joe T score 35-0 over Pine Bluff. Maumelle Searcy, 47-40 is your final score. The Lions go and bounce back after their loss to Joe T last week. BB wins 45-6 over Watson Chapel, and there's the Jacksonville score 49-8. I just heard a coach join us, so let me go back to the green room and bring in Phil Vega, the head coach of Dardanelle. The Sand Lizards get the victory tonight. Coach, congratulations. Thank you for joining us on More Sports. We appreciate your time. Final score 40-0 over Pottsville. How'd you think you played?
I felt like that we started really well, 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, and but then a little disappointed in how we started the second quarter. Felt like we kind of flattened out a little bit, and took us a minute. Ended up being 28-0 at halftime, and then came out the second half and got a stop, got the ball back, and went down and scored, and then to make it 34-0, missed a PAT. But then I really felt like we kind of relaxed in the game, and really offensively and defensively, Pottsville was able to move the ball on us and got down to the goal line and ended up fumbling into the end zone, and we recovered it in the end zone for a touchback. And I just felt like in the second half we had multiple opportunities to really put the nail in the coffin in the game, and we didn't make those plays that were there for us to make. Had about 3 different opportunities for interceptions that we didn't make, and get off the field on a couple fourth downs, and we didn't make those plays. But and at the end of the day, we were able to keep them out of the end zone and win the game. But felt like that we did ease up a little bit and didn't play with the same intensity that we did early in the game.
I'm curious because this wraps up the number 1 seed and at least a co-conference championship. Any celebration?
No, we didn't celebrate tonight. We feel like we still got work to do. And like I said, glad we won the game and took care of business. But again, felt like that there was lots of opportunities where we could have won the game, and I guess felt like that we did a better job in all phases of the game, and rather than relaxing and kind of taking it easy there in the second half. And but we feel like we still got work to do and got some things to clean up offensively and defensively, and continue to improve and get better.
Now, I didn't get to talk to you last week because you were on the road, and I figured it'd be hard to get a hold of you on the bus coming back from Ozark. Was that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Went to Ozark.
How about that comeback? I kept an eye on it, and I mean, you guys did it again. Come from behind, get the victory, and very impressive, I thought.
Yeah, well, thank you. Felt like the second half was very impressive. Felt like we played really well in all phases of the game. They were able to, do some things to us the first half against our defense in the run game that gave us some problems, and we were able to make some adjustments and end up doing a much better job in the second half, offensively and defensively. And offensive line did an outstanding job blocking in the second half, especially, and then had some backs that didn't carry the ball a bunch. It was a rain game, and backs that didn't carry the ball a bunch, and we used them as blockers for the quarterback. And quarterback had a really big game. I think carried it 26, 27 times for 190 something yards rushing, and anyhow, but he kind of just put the team on his back, and everybody, the leader that Creed is, everybody followed, and like I said, we ended up finding a way to come back and win that game, and which was a huge win to go into Ozark and win. That's a place that is a tough place to win.
Are you running Creed a little bit more now towards the end of the year, or in bigger games?
Yeah, we feel like it more. I guess more in the bigger games. Felt like last year, once we got to later on in the season, he was not wore out, but a little bit beat up and so forth. So I think up until tonight's game, he had less than 100 carries still, which I think at this time last year, he was almost 130, 140 carries or so. And anyhow, but so, and I'm not 100% sure how many carries he got tonight, but we did use our backs quite a bit, and we were able to throw the ball with a lot of success tonight as well. So, he didn't carry it, and I wouldn't guess 10 times tonight. So,
who played well for y'all?
I felt like that Bo Miller played well. Jordan Ernest was outstanding. He's a senior receiver for us that, it isn't the fastest kid we got by any means, but the kid is a heck of a teammate, does all the dirty work most of the time for us. And he had 2 big touchdowns tonight. And so he caught the ball really well. And heck, I think he made every play that, the ball got thrown to him. He made every play for us tonight. And then thought defensively, Peyton Davis and Gabe Burris were all over the place for us. Defensively, did a really good job against Pottsville's run game. Kentrell Diggs had a big interception. And then, like I said, we had a couple of other opportunities that we felt like we could have had some interceptions, but didn't. But those guys for sure played well. You still with me, Wes? Wes?
Looks like we dropped out, had a little issue there for a second. Not exactly sure what happened, but we're back. Very odd. It's Halloween. What else would you expect? Their first little bug. I don't know if the internet dropped or what happened. Well, let's go back and check out some scores. We lost Coach Vega and lost me too, I guess. But we are rolling now. Here we go. Let me share that with you. Take a look at some of the scores, put that in a better view for you. And let's go back to the scoreboard and see if we get some other coaches to call in. We still got 3 or 4 more that are going to try to call in. A couple of them were late games. I know Pulaski Academy and Anthony Lucas just got finished up. Mark Kelly and Sylvan Hills, what a long game. I think it's finally, maybe it's over. I'm not sure. And waiting from Coach McNabb. I'll text him real quick too and see if he can join us. And you can take a look at that scoreboard while I'm texting Coach McNabb. And I can also text Anthony Lucas. All right, we left off with the 5A, the Jacksonville Titans. Let's take a look. Got Paragould. Brooklyn beats Paragould. Greene County Tech loses a close one to Batesville, 28-27. Up in Northeast Arkansas, Valley View knocks off Nettleton, 21-14. That was a good game for first place. Harding Academy takes care of Wynn, 34-9. Now in the 5A South, Parkview goes to Lakeside, hands them their first conference loss, 24-22. Your final there, Magnolia takes care of DeQueen. Texarkana beats Hope, 57-10. And Hot Springs wins 42-21. So that sets up. Let me check a look at the standings. I'll go to Fearless Friday, and we can take a look at the standings in the 5A South, because next week those 4 top teams will all play each other. And let me share this tab instead. Here you go. Look at the standings. Hot Springs 6-0. Lakeside drops to 5-1. Parkview improves to 5-1, and Camden Fairview drops to 4-2. As of right now, you would have Parkview, the 2 seed, because they beat Lakeside tonight. Lakeside, the 3 seed, Camden Fairview, the 4 seed. But next week, Parkview host Camden Fairview, and Lakeside and Hot Springs, the Battle of Hot Springs, the rivalry game. That's even bigger this week. Hot Springs wins. They move to 7-0. They're the conference champs. And Parkview, if they beat Camden Fairview, well, it looks like if Hot Springs wins, Parkview, no matter what happens, would be the 2 seed. No, if they lost, then you would have 3-way tie for second place with all those teams at 5-2. Crazy scenario, but that's what this 5A South is. It's going to be a wild finish, because if Lakeside wins, beats Hot Springs, and let's say Parkview wins, they're all 6-1. You go to the tiebreaker points, and it would be, depending on how many points Parkview wins by, they could jump Hot Springs in a loss, and then Parkview Lakeside would be head to head, and Parkview could be the conference champions. That's a scenario if Parkview wins. If Lakeside loses or beats Hot Springs, then they're all 6-1. You go to total points, the tiebreaker. Whoever has the fewest points gets dropped out of the tiebreaker. Then you go to head to head. So a wild scenario still to go in the 5A South. Let me stop sharing that group. We've got Rockwell. Speaking of the 5A South and how crazy it is, we've got our next head coach joining us at Lakeside. Coach, welcome into More Sports. I tell you what, I watched this game. What a heck of a game. You guys had a nice second half comeback, but come up just a little bit short, 24-22. Your thoughts on the game?
Hats off to Parkview and Coach Bolden. So they did a good job finding a way to win. And hats off to my senior class and the Lakeside community. Like you said in the beginning, they fought back, had a really good second half. Took us a little bit to get adjusted to not the speed of the game, but the tempo of the game. Parkview played at a really, really high level in that first half, and we had to match that in the second half. So, and then I tried a little sky kick on that first kickoff. I probably should have kicked it deep. Shouldn't have went sky kick because it's I'm trying to do something new. I thought myself, but kudos to them. But I am extremely proud of my team and my seniors, the way they came out in the second half.
If I'm right, I was listening on the buzz. It was 21-7 at the half, and you guys just held them to 3 second half points. So the defense stepped up in the second half, gave you a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The defense has been playing well. We had to get with the tempo of the game and the aggression that first half. But in the second half, we really brought it to them. Our defense did, but their defense, talking about Parkview's, they made a timely stop on 4th down in the fourth quarter. They pretty much sealed the game for us. We stopped them and made them kick a field goal, but they stopped us on 4th down and turnover on down. So, it was just a really good football game, man. And anybody that watched it, man, it could go either way. It was a really great game.
Yep. When I was listening, the announcer was talking about the 4th and 1 stop, and then they converted on a 4th and 1, and those 2 plays right there could have been the 2 of the biggest plays for y'all.
Yeah, yes, sir. I agree 100%. Those were definitely big plays, and you know how it is. Those 50-50 plays. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, and we didn't get them tonight. We'll lick our wounds tonight and watch a little college football tomorrow, and back to work on Sunday against Hot Springs.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It probably won't be too hard to get them up for next week's game against Hot Springs. It's still a big game for you guys, and it's a rivalry game.
Yes, sir. Rivalry game, the Battle of Bathhouse Row. I'm expecting everybody in Hot Springs to be out there that night because it's pretty much a conference championship. I came in when I heard you talk about the tiebreakers and points and all that stuff. I've been here since 2014. It seems like this happens like every year in the 5A South. This perfect triangle, and we're looking at points and all this stuff. So it's you know what it means? It means it's getting close to playoff. So.
Yep. Well, and that's one thing we know. We know who the 4 teams will be in the playoffs for the 5A South. We just don't know what seed and who you're going to be playing.
Right, right. So and that means it's playoff time, man. But we got to handle a really, really good High Springs quarterback and a High Springs team. And we got to go over there. So even though it's across the road, it's still they're gonna have a good home crowd, and we'll bring our crowd too. It should be a really good game, really good rivalry game.
Well, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun game. So best of luck this week and get those guys going. I know you will. I respect the heck out of you. And then when I got the saw that you were in, it made me even the respect level go up even higher because it's, I know it's not the funnest thing to talk about a loss. It's fun to talk about a victory, but I appreciate you
Yeah.
calling in.
Oh yes, sir. Hey, just glad you had me. So,
Coach, thank you. We appreciate it. Best of luck next week.
yes, sir. Thank you. Go Rams, go.
Darren Rockwell joining us on More Sports. I think that's just the second, maybe the third coach that's called in after a loss. Respect the heck out of that to still join us and talk a little football with us and recap the game and talk about the program. I was just texting Anthony Lucas, see if we can get him. Oop, sorry. We'll get that going too. Let's go back to scoreboard real quick and take a look at some of the other games. We've been made it down to 5A. And we'll see, check on the 4A now. If I can get that up for you. There we go. All right. Make that a little bit larger for you. All right. Down, we were just talking about the 5A South. Let's go down to 4A. Pea Ridge falls to Alma 35-20. Farmington, no problems with Clarksville, 56-0. Greenbrier continues to roll 49-20. And Morrilton, 42-14 over Valonia. And let me see if Cody McNabb. Yep, I've texted him. We'll see if we can't get him on. Talk about Morrilton's victory. Berryville, 31-15 over Lincoln. Gravett falls to Elkins. That was a big game for Elkins. Gets the victory on the road. Huntsville over Green Forest, 37-34. That was a good one. Another good one. Prairie Grove, 52-50 over Gentry. Bald Knob takes care of Riverview, 28-0. Mills comes back. That's kind of been the story this year with Mills, 47-21. They were trailing CAC and big second half run. They end up winning by 26. Forest City goes to Heber, wins 38-28. Two straight losses for Heber after losing to Lone Oak last week. Speaking of Lone Oak, they beat Hall 44-6. That sets up a first place battle next week. Lone Oak will host Mills. Winner is your conference champion. And wins 48-0 over West Side. You got Blyville over Pocahontas 21-20. Batesville, I should say, takes care of Truman 41-8. So Southside bounces back. Clinton 41-6 over Mena. Waldron takes care of Dover. Ozark bounces back after their loss last week to Dardanelle. They shut out Lamar 47-0. There's a San Lizard score 40-0. Arkadelphia 63, and they scored that in the first half. It was 63-0 at the half. Miners, look at Bauxite, put up 72 on Ashdown, 72-44. Fountain Lake with their second straight victory. They beat Harmony Grove. Haskell Harmony Grove 48-28. So Fountain Lake, after beating Malvern, comes back, beats Haskell Harmony Grove. Nashville beats Malvern 42-14. So Nashville stays in first place, undefeated in the 7-4A. Now to the 8-4A, Monticello 28-7 over Crossett. There's Hamburg 43-8 over DeWitt. Warren puts up 50 again, 58-26 over Helena, West Helena. Stuttgart, no overlooking Star City. They win 42-7. That sets up a big game next week. Stuttgart, Hamburg. That'll be for the conference title. So we got a bunch of those next week. You got the Conway and Bryant game. You got the Mills game with Lone Oak, Stuttgart, and going to Hamburg. A lot of great games, as it should be. Let's see here. Charleston, 21-7 over Boonville. Mayflower loses to Salem. Wow, 12-7. We thought both of these defenses have been outstanding all season long. Looks like probably Salem scored 2 touchdowns, missed the extra points, or went for 2. But that was for the conference title. Both undefeated. Salem gets the 5-point victory at home.
Melbourne, no problems with Episcopal. There's Mountain View, Quitman, 75 points, 75-21. Atkins rolls again. Rivercrest over Manila. Newport gets the victory over Hoxie. Osceola 56-0 over Piggott. Not a final, but Glen Rose all over Paris 56-21. Cutter Morning Star over Magnet Cove. Danville, that's a third quarter score, not a final. Bismarck beats Center Point 47-6. There's Washita, Harmony Grove 43-8 over Horatio. SPAC over. I think Prescott was winning at one point in this game. I thought I saw that was like 13-7. Did they score 42 unanswered points? Fordyce goes to Rising. What a game. Yeah, it's such a rivalry game. It's been a tough year for Rising, and they were winning at one point, and Fordyce comes back, wins it 20-14. Drew Central gets the victory. Hector moving to 2A, beats Conway Christian. Magazine over Mountain Pine. Oh, Cross County beats Mark Tree. That conference is tough. Earl over Izard County. Moving on down to South Arkansas. Foreman, a big victory over Gurdon. Junction City, 64-6 over Lafayette County. Murfreesboro falls to Spring Hill. Poen beats Bearden, 50-14. Carlisle rolls 58-8. And Baptist Prep. Hey, Baptist Prep, good victory over Clarendon, 48-0. So that's a look at the scoreboard. And I'll see if we got any coaches getting ready to join us. If not, we can start to wrap this show up. It was a good night. Went about 40 minutes. Had a little internet issue or some kind of hiccup with the system. Not sure where it was, but we got back on track. And we got 5 coaches to join us tonight. Didn't ever get to hear from Coach Lucas or Coach Kelly. Mark Kelly, Battle of the Kellys. Let me go look. Just see what that final score ended up being between Sheridan and Sylvan Hills. Sylvan Hills gets the victory, and they're still in the driver's seat in the 6A East. One more big game for them. Yeah, it is final. 84-48. What do they call that when the numbers are reversed like that? 84-4-8-4-4-8. I know there's a fancy term, but 132 points scored in that game. Sylvan Hills gets the victory. Let's go to the 6A East. Take a look. We can take a look at some standings. I always like to do that. We can do that and see if we can get one more coach to join us. I'll share the Fearless Friday standings with you, and we can take a look at some of the we'll just start at 7A and work our way down at some of the schools and see if we get anybody else to join us real quick. All right. There's your page for you. Let me go to Fearless Friday. We'll start in 7A. Look at 7A Central. Of course, it's the big matchup next week. Bryant, Conway, both undefeated in conference title on the line. You got a log jam there for second place, third place, fourth place, and maybe even fifth place, because next week you got PA at Little Rock Christian. And so PA with a victory could tie Little Rock Christian Academy with a 4-3 record. Cabot is playing North Little Rock. So North Little Rock could, with the victory, jump over Cabot and move up in the playoff seeding. Or if Cabot wins, PA wins, you got a log jam there at 4-3 for third place. That would come down because that would be one of those perfect triangles with, if PA wins, they would beat Little Rock Christian beat Cabot beat PA. And depending on the points, see if PA does win, they would have more points than Little Rock Christian, and it would come down to Cabot. If they win, how many points they beat North Little Rock by. They would have to score more than 8, have a victory more than 8 over North Little Rock to get above Little Rock Christian. Then you would drop Little Rock Christian, and Cabot would be your 3 seed if they beat North Little Rock by more than 8. If they lose, of course, they're not in it. But if they only win by, let's say, 6 or 7, I don't know what happens, honestly. If they win by 7 and they're tied with Little Rock Christian in total points and PA wins, they jump. Wouldn't it be crazy if PA beat Little Rock Christian Academy by a point? They're at 40. Cabot beats North Little Rock by a 7, and they're at 40. I don't know what happens then. Is that where you go to the coin toss? I have no idea. So the 3, 4, 5, and even the 6 up for grabs in the Central next week. Bentonville, 6-0. They've already beaten. They'll play Bentonville West next week, right? That's who they finish with, the big rivalry game. So that's for a title. They beat Bentonville, already beat Rogers. You got Fayetteville at 3-3, Harbor 2-4, Springdale 2-4. That looks like your playoff teams out of the West. So yeah, 2 very good games for a title in the 7A Central, 7A West. Benton 5-1, Sylvan Hills at 5-1. They are tied, but of course, Sylvan Hills has the tiebreaker, and Sylvan Hills next week will play. Who do they finish with? Oh, Catholic. So they got a chance with a victory. Sylvan Hills will be your 1 seed, and Benton would fall to the 2 seed. If they, gosh, I knew this. I'd already looked at who Benton plays next week. Benton goes to, no, they should be at home. Clicked on the wrong button. Sorry. 25 schedule. Benton hosts Marion. Oh, yeah. That's a good game. Marion sitting there at 4-2 in conference. El Dorado now at 4-2. Jonesboro 3-3. And Sheridan falls to 2-4. So it looks like Sheridan has El Dorado next week. They could get up to 3 wins, but Jonesboro beat them. I think Sheridan's locked in at that 6 seed. And then Jonesboro, Marion, El Dorado, they're playing for the 3, 4, and 5. In the West, Greenwood has already beaten Mountain Home, Shiloh, and Van Buren. So they, in my calculation, they've got the West locked up. And then Mountain Home and Shiloh will be playing for the 2 seed next week. Looks like Van Buren will be your 4. And still a little work to do to figure out the 5 and 6 seed. Lake Hamilton with the victory over Siloam Springs. They need a win next week against Russellville, right? Let me look at that. It's off the top of my head. If they get a victory, schedule. Yep, go to Russellville. So with a victory, Lake Hamilton gets that last spot because the victory already over Siloam Springs. So the Wolves still have a chance to make the playoffs. A big game for them next week. And let's move to 5A. Look at those games real quick. Robinson, they're your conference champs. They've already beaten they beat Searcy, but Maumelle has a loss. Well, if Maumelle beats Robinson next week, they would all be 6-1 if Searcy gets a victory in their last game. So you could have a perfect triangle there. So Robinson needs a victory over Maumelle to claim the outright conference title and the 1 seed. So still a big game in the 6A Central next week. But those are your playoff teams. We know that for sure. Robinson, Maumelle, Searcy, and BB. On the East, Valley View with the big win over Nettleton tonight. Looks like they'll be your conference champs. Harding Academy, Batesville, they are your 4 teams right there from the East. The South, we talked about the logjam there, but those are your 4 playoff teams. They all play each other next week, so we'll know the conference seeding next week. Greenbrier has already beaten Farmington and Morrilton, so they'll be your 1 seed out of the West. They'll finish up with Valonia in the Judges Cup next week. And we got Alma Harrison at 3-3, so still some work to do in the West to decide who that last playoff team is going to be. I hear a coach joining us. Let me go in. We made it all the way down to 5A, and looking at the standings, we'll talk a little 4A football now. Cody McNabb from Morrilton joins us. And
still
Coach,
5A.
Still 5A.
We keep talking 5A football.
You know what? It's been a long night, and made a mistake. We were just looking at the 5A and talked about Greenbrier, and looks like they'll have the 1 seed with their victory tonight wrapped up, since they've already beaten Farmington and you guys. But big victory for y'all. You're going to the playoffs now, right?
Yeah, I think that probably clinches a playoff for us. So that was always a goal, and it looks like it's probably the way I see it, it looks like it's slotted out with Greenbrier and Farmington, then we'll get the 3, and Harrison probably get the 4 as is the way I see it happening, and I think that's 4 good football teams.
Has Harrison already beaten Alma? Is that they've got the tiebreaker?
Yes, they beat them. I think it might have been their first conference game of the year.
Okay, that was so long ago I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about tonight. You guys beat Valonia 42-14. How'd you feel about the way the team played?
No, I like the way we played. I thought we came out. We've been starting slow. We've had to storm back kind of the last couple of weeks at Harrison and at Farmington. Got to come home, which is always nice, and really like the way that we started. We started with a touchdown drive, then a pick six. Gave up a touchdown after that, and then got some turnovers in the first half, which was nice, and then did some good things on offense to get the lead, and had it like we wanted at half, to where the clock would run when we came out of half. So I really thought our kids, there was one drive where we had a couple of penalties, overcame those, and got a score, and Coach Ashcraft always has his teams ready, and thought that was a good win for us. Like that we created some turnovers, and you're trying to get some momentum going into the playoff.
Well, you feel like you got that momentum?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're playing pretty good football. We played a good game last week against Farmington. Went for 2 at the end, and the win did not get it. But I think that's a good football team. I think our team's getting better every week, and I think we'll be a tough matchup in the playoffs.
Okay, so if you're the 3 seed, I'm just thinking out loud because Valley View knocked off Nettleton tonight. Would that mean you go to Nettleton in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, it looked like the loser of that game would be who we'd get. And we played Nettleton a few years ago, came here in the playoffs, and I know Coach Hampton and got those guys going, and they've had a really good year. And it sounded like that game against Valley View was pretty close, right?
21-14 off the top of my head.
Yeah, that sounds right. So they were in a battle tonight, and they'll be a good football team. But we got Clarksville next week. Want to take care of that if we can, and play well there. Like I said, you want to feel good. You want to have some momentum as you roll into the playoffs.
It's been tough for Clarksville. How do you treat this week so that your guys don't overlook them?
Just like you do every other week. You want it to be, I got a lot of those kids, and they don't have many out. Coach Powers coaches them hard. Those kids will play hard. I got a lot of respect. I mean, for kids that keep showing up and working, there's a lot of life lessons with football. I know we all teach those, but a team like that keeps coming to practice and working hard. I really admire them and admire those guys at Clarksville to keep working like they do. And they've had a tough year, but we want to just execute. And I think, you try to treat every opponent the same and treat every game the same. And that's what we're going to attempt to do next week. And hopefully we can take another step and continue to get a little bit better each week and be ready to go for the playoffs.
Coach, best of luck. We will talk to you soon. I really appreciate you hopping on tonight. Thank you so much.
You have a good one.
All right. Cody McNabb joining us. We can talk a little more 5A football. We got Brian Maupin, head coach of the Maumelle Hornets. Coach, got to watch some of that game. Man, that was fun. It was a good game. Came out just a little bit on the short end against a good Searcy team. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on this game?
Oh man, it was an electric Friday night atmosphere, man. I was really proud of the guys. We battled, had some ups and downs. I really think a couple plays go the other way. I think we're feeling a lot different about ourselves right now. And, you can't look in, hindsight. It's 2020, they say. So, I'm proud of the guys. We made some plays to win a game. One of our best players, he thinks he let the team down, but he's done so much for this place. I won't let him wear that, So I'm proud of the guys. Excited that we still get to play for a conference championship next week if we can win by 8.
That's what I was just looking at because it's not settled. That's still wide open, and you could have a 3-way tie there in the 5A Central.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, and that was my message post game was like, hey, this one stings. It hurts. You never want to lose and senior night. We've done a great job since I've been here of protecting the nest, not losing at home. And, that always stinks. But, all of our goals are right in front of us, and 8 points is not an unsurmountable thing. Like, that's a touchdown and 2 points. So you got to beat Robinson by a score and a 2-point. That's not the most unrealistic thing in the world. And so do I want to be playing point counting and all that? No, I'd rather just be playing straight up for it. But to know that we still have that on the table, that's a big deal.
Who played well for you tonight?
Man, I thought Levi did some really good things. Jonathan Williams did a really, really, really good job on the defensive end. He made some big time plays, but a guy that really kind of burst on the scene is Davian Jordan. He had a huge 70-yard touchdown reception. He played linebacker all night. He got some good pressure for us. He had a huge 3rd down and 20 conversion on a deep out. Did some really, really good things. And he's not a guy that we always count on to go both ways. Bubba Johnson's still a little banged up. And so Davian had to step up, and I was really proud of Davian Jordan tonight.
What'd you think of Searcy? I mean, because this 5A Central, there's 3 really good teams.
For sure. I mean, here's the thing. Zach does a really good job of putting you in conflict. His quarterback is tough. Man, we gave him our best shot. We knocked him out the game a couple times. Not that I don't know Sean Payton stuff, but he got banged up a couple times, and he kept battling. And he keeps you honest in the box. But man, they scheme up some really good things on the edge, and so he's playing number games with you. And so it's such a chess match. It's fun. I love games like that where I'm going against an OC or a head coach that knows how to count the numbers and put you in bad situations, and he keeps you accountable out there.
I tell you what, when I was watching, they ran a little quarterback draw around the 20-yard line or so, 15, and they pulled it perfectly. The blocking was great, except for one guy held, and they called it back. It was a big holding call, but I guess he ended up getting that first down there because that was an impressive drive that they put together, and that was a good game. It was a good high school football game. I was glad I was able to watch it. Well, Coach, best of luck next week. I appreciate you calling in after a loss. Tells me a lot about you. I do.
Most definitely. I'm sorry I missed you last week, man. I'm going to get a little quicker on this thing. I got to put the wife and kids in the car faster.
No, you're good, man. Family first. I always appreciate it. Thanks, Coach Mop.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, brother.
Let's bring in our next coach. And I'm surprised he was able to call in. This game was a long one. Coach, I guaranteed today on the buzz, I said, I guarantee you there will be 100 points, at least 100 points scored in this game. And I thought I was going on
way
a
over.
limb. I could have said 120 points will be scored in this game. People thought I was crazy. I would have still been right.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. It was a crazy game. Coach Kelly obviously does a great job with their offense and are aggressive defensively, and that kind of plays into their hands trying to score. So, man, it's an awesome football game. Great atmosphere here at Sylvan Hills.
84-48 was your final. I was talking about it, and one of our viewers, I couldn't remember what you call that. And Ryan Exa says it's a palindrome. That's what it was. That was the fancy word I couldn't remember. A palindrome tonight, 84-48. Somebody asked me not too long ago, they were like, is Mark Kelly and Kevin Kelly related in any way down the line? Cousins, fourth cousins, any kin?
Yeah, no, that I get that question a lot because we do similar things, especially like special teams wise and fourth downs, but no relation that I know of. And of course, with the EY on the end and everything. So, way down the line possibly, but nothing that I'm aware of.
84 points tonight. Who played well for you offensively?
Yeah, a lot of guys. I really think our offensive line did a great job because they were trying to bring pressure. They did a great job protecting the quarterback. Obviously, Tyler had a big night. I'm not sure who caught a bunch of touchdowns. I know that Tyler Blakely had 2 touchdowns. Ryan Parham had 1. And then our backs probably had 2 or 3 apiece. And, it's just one of those – it is a crazy game. I have to look at the stats to really get some guys. But, man, our defense, even though you think about, 50 points, but our defense played really opportunistic. I think we had 3 or 4 interceptions that were really timely. And, they did a great job of getting us back up whenever, whenever Sheridan started kind of rolling, especially offensively, we were able to kind of change the momentum at times.
Okay, they went on a little run, and I
Yeah.
was watching, and I think the score was 56-48. They got it within 8.
Right.
And then
No, they did. Yeah.
on a 28-0 run.
Yeah, that was I mean, obviously they came out and they were playing the second half. I think we were up by 3 scores at one point by 20. It's like a 22-point game, and then they came back, scored. We went down the field, and then we weren't quite able to make something happen. And then they scored again, so they're within 1. We get the ball, we go down, find a way to score. I think EJ Duckery had about a 30-yarder, and then we got the onside kick. So it's one of those things. Hey, we scored, and then we got an onside kick, and now we go back. We go down and score again. Now it's a 3-score game, and that kind of kind of broke some momentum for them. And then of course stretched the lead for us as well.
Have a little smile on your face when you got that onside kick. I mean, because it was
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly that kind of
Right.
made that popular and more of a trend to do, and
Yeah.
you did to him what he's been doing to others for so long.
Yeah, and it's one of those playing them, you realize how much you have to prepare for the onside kicks, and you had to be perfect because they got one onside kick tonight. I think that we got one, so we're even as far as the onside kicks and stuff. So that was big. They were able to get that, especially at that time, was really big. And I got to give Coach Kelly a little bit of credit for the things that he's done for Arkansas high school football, and kind of the way that I've built my the way that we run our program as well.
All right, next week sets up a big one for you guys.
Yeah,
Finish
it does.
this off and win a conference title.
Yeah, so we're going to War Memorial playing Catholic. It's going to be, Catholic's a tough team, great players, great coaches. We're going to have to go and be really well prepared. And, if we can take care of business, we'll be conference champs. And then, we'll have home playoff games for as long as we can, and hopefully until we go to War Memorial.
When did you guys, and maybe the team, start thinking we can win a conference title?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's one of those, man. You get deeper in the season, then you just kind of look around. You're like, well, we're at the top of it right now. We're tied for it. We just got to keep winning. And of course, we lost our first conference game to Marion, and then the very next week we beat Benton. And we knew that we had a 3-week stretch or 3-4-week stretch of really good teams. It was Marion, Benton, El Dorado, and then it's one of those if we can go 2-3 out of that, we'd feel really good. And it just so happened that we went 2-3, but we won probably the key one there against Benton to hopefully that if we are tied for the conference championship, that we at least get the number 1 playoff seed.
What do you think about that 6A East with you guys? Benton, El Dorado, Marion, Jonesboro. Jonesboro went to El Dorado tonight, but lost. El Dorado beat Jonesboro tonight. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet, man. You look at it 1 through 8 every single week. Anybody can beat anybody, and I mean, there's no team that just stands out as like, hey, they're the absolute alphas in this conference, and it's one of those that is up and down. Every week anybody can beat you, and we had a ton of close games. Like the El Dorado game was close, Jonesboro game came right down to it. So it's one of those that, man, it's a tough conference for sure, top to bottom.
I guess I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I'm looking now, but with the win tonight, that guarantees y'all a first-round bye and a first-round playoff game no matter what happens next week, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I've looked at it just enough. I believe it does give us a bye for sure. And, but obviously we got to stay locked in and try to get something to the legacy before we get to the playoffs. Hey, conference champs, great. Now we can focus in on the next thing that we have and the next goal that we'd have.
Coach, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. It was a long night. I think y'all were the last game to finish up tonight, but
yeah, 84-48,
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, hey, it was a fun football game, and hats off to Sheridan. A lot of tough kids that played a lot of tough plays and a lot of football.
Coach, thank you. Best of luck next week against Catholic.
Thanks, Wes.
Mark Kelly joining us, head coach there at Sylvan Hills. Let's go to had some people writing in. We got one from Big Block 402. Final score for us: EPC beats Desark 69-28. Thank you. Next up is Ryan Exis. Go Senators. They are real. Joe T is for real. That's why they're number 1 in the state. Next week, the big matchup, Joe T and Maumelle. A lot on the line in that game. Next week's going to be a lot of fun. You know, we get a double dose of high school football. You get Thursday night games. And I'm just thinking about that, thinking out loud. Normally on Thursday, we do kind of a high school football preview with Thomas Thrash at Hootens. This Thursday, he's going to be busy. I'm going to be busy because we have high school football. So I'm thinking Thursday we do a double dose. We'll do a high school football postgame show Thursday night and one on Friday night and get some of the coaches to join us on both nights because we got great games on Thursday and then great games on Friday. So let's go ahead and plan on doing 2 high school football postgame shows next week. We're probably going to be back with you here on Monday, talking some Razorback basketball. Season opener for the Razorbacks Monday night when they host Southern. So do a little Razorback postgame show Monday night and talk some Razorback football or coaching search Tuesday and Wednesday, and have some high school football, our team of the week, player of the week. So next week's going to be a lot of fun. Be very busy. Hope you can join us. Be back here Monday night for more sports.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's more sports.